And welcome to Back Issues. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And today we're going to be diving in to Excalibur.
Ooh.
But like not old Excalibur.
New Excalibur.
Like new hotness Excalibur. Because that's relevant right now. Because this is obviously off the heels of Powers of X and Dawn of X and House of X and all the X's.
We never got to Dawn. We just did Powers and House, man.
Yeah, what did we miss in Dawn of X?
Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, deep.
Stuff.
How recent is this? Is this like...
This is ongoing. This is like
this is
literally
happening
like
right now.
issue 10 just came out in June.
Okay.
Oh.
This is part of everything that's going on with Krakoa, but could be, but I don't know, but future viewers will tell me I'm right or wrong, part of the march towards the Ten of Swords books that are going to be coming out.
Ten of Swords?
Ten of Swords. X of swords.
Oh.
10
Like,
of swords.
So like two swords crossing.
No, like literally like an X, like 10. Like
It's like a new card, like the Ten of Swords.
No,
it's
well,
like a
it's
suit.
okay. Yes, because actually, that's a tarot card. The four suits of the tarot are the cups, the pentacles, the wands, and the swords.
Okay.
The Ten of Swords represents a tarot card that like indicates backstabbing and failure and all sorts of horrible things.
Magneto.
What?
You would think that. But we're going to be talking about Apocalypse, because this book should really be called Apocalypse and What He Doing. Because it's guised in the idea of Excalibur, which was a book that was originally created by Chris Claremont back in like 1987. Like, it was originally called Excalibur Special Edition #1, which was later called like Excalibur, like Dawn of the Sword or Drawn the Sword or something like that.
Is it a team?
Yeah, Excalibur was a team.
Okay.
Excalibur was a team consisting of 4 mutants, because Chris Claremont, obviously, like, you know, huge influence on mutants, and Captain Britain. Also a Chris Claremont creation.
Well, I mean, like, that does make sense.
Yeah, you're going to have
And it's
Excalibur.
Excalibur,
You're gonna want,
you gotta have at least one British person in there.
Exactly, exactly. It is kind of a spin-off of mutants and like X books, but like when you think about it, Captain Britain is not a mutant. I will tell you though that the 4 X-Men that were on the team originally were Nightcrawler, Phoenix.
I was gonna say Nightcrawler should be on it because he's got a sword.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
The Phoenix?
Well, it was Rachel Summers, who was at the time host for the Phoenix.
Oh.
Does she have a sword?
The sword doesn't mean anything for Excalibur.
This is Excalibur.
Yeah, I know, but like really Captain Britain has the sword. But it's not Excalibur.
Wait, can't the Phoenix like destroy the world or
Listen,
whatever?
okay? It was in the 80s, who cares? Moving on. Kitty Pryde
Okay.
and Lockheed.
The
Lockheed?
dragon?
Yeah, it's Excalibur.
Oh yeah,
So
you
you
gotta have
had-
dragons and crap in there.
You had 3 mutants and a tiny dragon.
And a dragon. She's not that tiny.
Who cares? And Captain Britain. And they went on
Captain
myriad
Britain.
adventures, and then Chris Claremont left 10 issues later because of like editorial disagreements. Captain Britain was created in the late 70s by Chris Claremont and Herb Trimpe? I'm not sure how to say that. Whatevs.
I think if it's the food, they would say herb, but if it's the person, they're like herb.
Okay, whatever. But Captain Britain is one of the first Marvel UK created characters. Marvel UK was like kind of republishing a lot of stuff for Marvel over there, but Captain Britain, they were like, we have Captain
write
Britain.
our own stuff.
Yeah. Now,
Cool.
note, Chris Claremont is, well, okay, he's born to American parents, but he was born in England, but he was raised in America.
Okay.
Okay. He was born there, but he doesn't have any real connection there other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, his parents are American. He was raised here,
Yeah.
but he was born there.
Captain Britain also is one of the only Marvel created characters, and by one of, I mean the only Marvel created character that Alan Moore ever wrote for.
Really?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, of course, right? I mean, he's written some Star Wars stuff and like, you know, whatever, but like, we're talking about Marvel creations.
Alan Moore wrote Star Wars
So
stuff?
he was like part of like some like omnibus or what have you. Anyway, let's talk about Captain Britain.
Yeah.
What is a Captain Britain?
It's not what I thought it was.
No,
No.
Captain Britain is also known as Brian Braddock, brother to, or twin to, fraternal twin to Betsy Braddock.
Who is...
Psylocke.
Ah.
She's British?
Yeah.
Huh.
What'd you think she was?
I thought she was Asian.
Okay. We're going to talk about that because it's going to come up in this book regardless. Yeah. And yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Betsy Braddock is British, but inevitably had her mind swapped with an Asian woman named Kwanan. And so she was Betsy Braddock in a Japanese woman's body, like with a British accent for a long while. And then eventually they swapped back. If you want to learn more, go look it up.
Yeah.
Just know that it's addressed here.
Wait,
that it's important and it matters.
It's not
now.
important, it's just acknowledged.
Oh.
But since Krakoa exists, both versions, Betsy Braddock and Kwanan, are there. And Betsy doesn't want to go by Psylocke because she's like, that's really inappropriate. Because I basically stole this woman's life.
Right. Wait,
And it was totally against her will. Like, she didn't do it on purpose.
Why
It's all
are-
the hand. We're going to move on. We should talk about the other Braddock sibling.
Yes.
Jamie Braddock is the, like, monarch. He has reality warping powers. He's the older brother of the two, and he's a dick.
Okay.
So he's a
bad guy.
he's a character called Monarch.
Yeah, that's his thing.
And did he
That's-
pre-exist, or was he invented for this?
No, he pre-exists.
pre-exists.
All
So
of the
there's this whole
Braddocks. The Braddocks have
family
a
that I know
long
nothing
lineage.
about in-
You know, well, yeah, I guess we really haven't talked about them much.
No.
But the Braddocks do have a long lineage, and it often changes, especially for Brian and his relation to Captain Britain. But like, there's kind of an ongoing like, here's the basics for it, right? You should also know that Betsy and Jamie are mutants.
Okay.
Brian is not.
Brian is not. Oh, he's left out.
He's left out. Just a guy.
And that's what caused him to seek out powers
Yeah,
through other
Captain
means?
Britain.
Nope. The Braddock's parents, Jamie
Oh.
Senior,
Okay.
and I believe their mom is Betsy as well, Elizabeth.
Oh, well, that's just confusing.
All right.
Just like causes Brian to like go work for the similar company or the same company, and then there's like this attack on the company, and he tries to leave on his motorcycle to go get help, and as he's leaving on his motorcycle, he gets into a horrific accident, a near fatal accident.
Okay.
When Merlin and his daughter Roman arrive to make a deal with him, basically.
Merlin the Magician.
Merlin's the devil?
Excuse me, Merlin's a wizard.
Whatever. He uses magic.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Merlin.
Yeah, with the hat.
He doesn't have a hat. He doesn't always have a hat.
All right.
There's plenty of versions of Merlin where he doesn't have a hat.
Yeah, he might have a metal skull dome.
So
Sure.
Merlin ages backwards. So is he like a fetus?
No, he's like an old man. No, listen. The Arthurian lore in the Marvel Universe is like loosely based on the
Okay.
Arthurian lore. I believe it was introduced by like Stan Lee, so it's like just kind of based on that, right?
Like, you might as well just keep it.
So they show up to him and they're like, "Yo, what's up? I see you're in trouble here. We'd like to offer you the opportunity to be a greater hero than you are."
Pull this shield from a stone.
No, they literally go, here are two options: the Amulet of Right and the Sword of Might. Pick what you would take.
Well, what do they do?
What do you mean? Well, listen, it's Arthurian lore, man. You gotta take a chance.
You just gotta figure it out.
Listen, you just,
Yep.
you know, it's like getting a mystery box at a con.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's
Right.
inside? They're not gonna tell you.
And Brian being like, well, I'm a boy. I'll take the sword.
Yeah.
Takes the
right.
amulet because he's like,
never mind.
I don't feel that I'm a warrior and I don't want to take something that is violent. And they're like, right choice, you're Captain Britain. You're not.
Nope.
Well, what would have happened if he'd chosen the other one?
He would have burst into flames. He is not worthy.
Yikes.
No, he.
Are we going to find out in the book?
Is that in here?
It's in here.
Oh, wow.
That's in here.
We're doing a deep dive
Yeah,
into
kind of.
Captain
Don't
Britain
forget,
stuff.
this is about Excalibur and Captain Britain, but it's really about Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
But we need to talk about Captain Britain before we get into this because you need to understand that world, basically.
Okay.
All right.
Captain Britain.
Is Captain Britain even on the cover of this book?
Captain Britain is in charge of keeping safe Britain.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that the king or queen's job?
Well, yeah, they don't have powers, though.
if it's the queen, I think she'd like to rely on someone else at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Although she's seemingly an immortal, so I don't know.
Right. Is Captain Britain a knight? Has he been knighted?
I don't know. He is recognized by the government as
Okay.
the rightful guardian of Britain.
Okay.
What do they think of Monarch and his name?
I don't know if they really know of him, and he's a mutant, so they don't really care. Captain Britain's also in charge of the other world.
What?
Sorry, what?
The other world?
Is that literally the name of it?
Yeah.
It's like another dimension or whatever.
Yeah, it's actually outside the multiverse.
We call it the over there.
It's over there.
You never get there because it's over there.
The other world is where Avalon and like Camelot
Oh.
moved.
Oh.
What?
And that's where Merlin is.
Did they take the Rainbow Road?
What? No. I mean, although it's said that Morgan Le Fay is part fairy and somehow like related like loosely or like kind of tangentially to the Dark Elves, so you kind of make your Thor references there. So
Okay.
regardless, Morgan Le Fay, part of her lineage is directly from the other world.
If you go to the other world, are there like castles and like King Arthur's there?
Is that where the
holding up
elves
a
went?
goblet and crap? Yeah.
What elves?
You know, Lord of the Rings elves.
No.
Oh.
No, there's elves in Arthurian legend too, right?
Well, yeah, but not those elves.
No, those are different.
He was talking about. No, I don't think there are elves in Arthurian legend.
No?
There are fae.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for the fae.
Yeah,
Okay.
fairies and fae are
That's
different than
probably
elves.
They're dangerous. Right now, we know that in the other world, Merlin is dead. His daughter is dead. Arthur is missing. And Morgan Le Fay is in charge. That's what you need to know.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not good.
Brian is married to a woman named Megan, who is also a mutant. She can like change her form.
She looks like an elf.
She does. Yeah. She does. She's adorable. She's absolutely adorable.
Is that her
Yeah,
on
it's
the
like
cover
Megan
here?
with a Y,
No.
I think.
No, that's not her. This is her.
Midgeon. Oh.
There she is.
Yeah.
And they have a daughter, Maggie.
Maggie doesn't know how close she was to being named Brian anyway.
Right? So now you know a lot of the main players, and there's going to be more questions that come up, and we'll answer them as we go. But that's a little bit into the lore of the, like, literally we're scratching the surface of what
Right.
happens with Excalibur. So many other things happen with that team, and they go on many merry adventures, and there are a lot of people who really like them. But we're not dealing with the past, we're dealing with right now.
I was about to call the dragon Grimlock. I'm like, that's not right.
That's Lockheed.
That's
Lockheed.
It's Lockheed.
But the word lock
was a
is in there.
transformer.
Yeah, Grimlock's a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur.
He's a
yeah, it's
dinosaur. Yeah, it's kind of like a dragon. It's like a real dragon. Was all that like when was that? Are we talking like a couple years ago, or was that like 20 years ago?
All of it.
All that stuff.
All of
happened?
that stuff happened
we're
has been
just
happening
now.
over time, basically. So
Okay.
like the first Captain Britain comes out in like late 70s, and Captain Britain initially didn't have ties to the other world. That came later on. Like
Yeah.
Alan Moore kind of introduced that, along with like Alan Davis and stuff like that. They kind of retconned some things about them. Which is where things get a little hairy, and I'm sure people who are huge Captain Britain fans can easily separate like the lineage of how this works. But like
Right.
theoretically, the Braddocks have been in England forever. However, they also say that like Brian's father came over from the other world seeking a mate to make a hero even greater, so that they would be Captain Britain, because he was also a Captain Britain. But like if he just came over, how could you have a long lineage of Braddocks dating back hundreds of years? You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sure there's some sort of crazy explanation.
For all that, yeah.
But let's
we're
talk
not gonna
about
talk
this.
about it.
Let's talk about this. This just went right up into there, so now this is
Now
part
you
of
won't,
the
yeah.
background. In other
Ooh, magical book.
magical book, ooh, it is. In Otherworld, Castle Camelot is under attack. And Morgan Le Fay's like, cool, this sucks. So not only is she dealing with that, but her like scrying pool, like the waters of Avalon, I suppose, are like infested with leaves.
Leaves?
Leaves.
Like from a tree?
Like from a plant.
Oh.
And what do we know about Krakoa?
It's
Krakoa's
a plant.
all about damn plants.
Okay.
Oh.
That makes a lot more sense, because like I don't think you can have a leaf infestation.
Right, no, well, she does, and she's got a problem with it because she knows that, A, it's kind of messing with her magic because that's where she pulls her power from, essentially. But also she recognizes it as, like, an invasion in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, what you doing here? What are you doing here, Krakoa?
Did she drown someone in the pool?
Oh, yeah, no, she kills, like, this dude who's, like, in charge of, like, her captain of the guard, essentially. She's like, hey, you're supposed to be, like, keeping us safe here.
Right.
But what the hell is this? I'm gonna give you a good look at it. It's really good.
Yeah.
But she has a reason for doing that.
Yeah,
she's
the
a bad
pool
guy.
requires a human sacrifice every couple of
No, her
era.
reason for doing that is that, like, basically that guy's ghost goes to this location in the moors in North Yorkshire where we meet Marion Stern, I think who's created for this book, and her coven, who like run into these ghosts and they're trying to like banish them, and then they make him corporeal for a second, and they are going to do that, and he's basically like, hey, cool, hey, servants of Avalon, by the way, here comes, I'm the herald of the Witch Queen. She killed him just so she would have a herald
In our world.
in our world.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna make an entrance.
Right.
You might as well.
By the way, those ghosts, love them.
Yep.
I am a typical
Straight
ghost
up
in every
Halloween.
I am a ghost. You'll hang me on your wall. Ooh. So Morgan's basically like, hey, like, witches and wizards and mages or whatever of Britain here. You draw your magic from me and from the other world. And right now, something is coming in from your world into my world, and I don't like that. So I might cut you off unless you help me out. So hopefully I won't have to, like, kill you to conscript you to my army, but, like, you better figure out what's happening. Which will then lead Marion to, like, kill her entire coven because she's like, I assume that's what you meant. And then she goes and joins a different coven.
What? Oh, so she is not a good person.
She's not a good person.
No.
So meanwhile, with the Braddocks, Betsy is packing because Betsy is going to Krakoa.
Oh,
and by packing, I mean she's leaving most of her clothes there because she didn't want to show up with like 17 suitcases.
Right. And you don't need a lot of clothes in Krakoa anyway.
Right, exactly.
Well, I assume if you're an English family, you know, like this, you have like, you know, just rooms of outfits.
Just rooms in the manor. Because she does stay in the, like, Braddock Manor, essentially. And it is an academy. I was correct.
What's her power if... Oh, wait, it's Psylocke power, but, like...
She can focus the totality of her psychic abilities into blades.
Also, I was going to be like...
a telepath.
I was going to say, what is her power if she's no longer in Psylocke's body? I was like, oh, right, they're the same.
Yeah, and she's... Well, they're not...
Similar.
Yeah, and also she has sweet purple hair. Anyway, so she's like, Brian, you should come with us, like, or you should come with me. Like, you're totally welcome there. And, like, I'll make sure that you are. And he's
I feel like I would not be welcome
right.
there.
Well, it's more like, no, he's like, some humans can go. Like, sometimes they're allowed if they're, like, you know, welcomed or they're accompanied, they can go.
Someone vouches for them.
Oh, it's like getting an in at a club.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to be fair, he's worked with Excalibur for quite a long time, so he does have a rapport with most of them.
Right.
Hey, I'm here for Krakoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you bring a couple mutants with you?
Right.
No. You ain't getting in.
You're out. But basically, he's being a cool brother where he's just like, this is for you, and like you should take advantage of this because I know you're going through a lot of crap right now, having been separated from, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I think you should take advantage of it. Like, I love having you as like my first roommate, being twins. Like he's making a womb joke, but like you should do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And like they're talking about how like, you know, Jamie sucks. And like how she's like, I wish Jamie could have seen it because Jamie's dead.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, but he sucks. So anyway, she goes to Krakoa. Some people call her Starlight. She's like, it's Betsy. It's, you know, whatever, right?
I go by Betsy now.
Well, she's like weird about it. Like she's like trying to be like,
right.
Like you all know me as Psylocke, but like
I know,
I'm not really.
I get it, but it's
not in that body anymore.
It's weird. So she's dealing with those naming issues. Meanwhile, Apocalypse is called upon by Trinary, who he has working on this whole gate issue because he's aware of the Krakoan gate to the other world.
Okay.
And when she's like, hey, Mr. Apocalypse, blah, 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 and he's like...
Oh, please, it's just Apocalypse.
Mr. Apocalypse
I
was my
prefer
father.
if you'd call me that.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, Prince.
So we're going to just call him Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because I'm not on Krakoa, and what's he going to do about it? Obviously, he's got the big A belt as well. He's embracing this. He's like, no. Because his philosophy is, it's a new dawn for X-Men. It's a new time. It is a new him. New name.
New me. I will be indecipherable thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. But basically, he's working on this whole gate thing. And like,
he wants to go through it?
Well, like,
or he wants to...
This is where we find out that Apocalypse is very interested in magic. And so, like, Trinary and Sage and some of the other scientific mutants were trying to figure out what was up with the gate because essentially it's a gate that was created seemingly by Krakoa, but they can't figure out where it goes because it doesn't go anywhere on Earth and like or even on this plane, as they say, because technically there's ones that are in space, there's ones on the moon, you know what I mean? And he's like,
This gate's on the moon?
They can't go through it?
yeah, it's where the Summers house is.
Well, they summer on the moon.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, that's because you're using science, but I'm pretty sure this is magic. And the fact that you're thinking so small is kind of the problem because this isn't in this dimension.
Right.
Krakoa
is not confined
in other
to...
places.
Right. Well, also, it's magic.
Right.
So...
So like, get Scarlet
I thought
Witch here.
Krakoa was a plant.
Scarlet Witch isn't allowed to come. She's a boogeyman.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding you.
Oh.
She's a boogeyman character told to mutant children.
What?
Because she killed the mutants.
Oh.
So no.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought Krakoa was like a plant, but there's gates in like space.
Well,
and
Krakoa
shit,
uses
so...
plants to make gates, but Krakoa is technically a being.
Okay. But how does it grow parts of itself in space?
Well, it's not like floating in space. It was like on a ship.
Okay.
You could have like a enclosed, you know, habitat.
It's like crawling along the metal corridors of the ship.
No, they bring it. Like they bring like a thing. Like somebody brings a plant and then they grow it, the gate, and that like it's precious because it's like if we lose this gate, we can't get home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to grow a whole new one.
Do you have to like water it and like feed it?
You have to water it.
Yeah,
to
and get like
tend to
UV
it.
lights and
You have
stuff.
to tend to your garden, people.
Oh man,
Right.
no one should ever have me there.
No, you'll kill it.
Yeah.
You can't go
I'm
to
gonna kill everyone's chance to get home.
But like they're kind of acting like this one just kind of showed up.
Right.
So like he realizes that this gate is like things from Otherworld could technically come through, but they can't go into Otherworld.
Oh.
Because it's
One-way
being
gate.
blocked. So basically they're like, we need a champion to breach this. Like we need someone to help us get through there.
You're X-Men, you're all champions.
No, but he's got a specific plan.
Ah.
All right?
Okay.
So
Plan.
Betsy runs into Jubilee, who's like, hey, what's up? They're gonna get drinks and stuff like that. And like,
Does Jubilee have a baby?
yeah, Jubilee has a baby.
Is she a vampire right now?
Okay, so we kind of knew this was gonna come up, so I prepared for this question. No, she's not.
She's not a vampire.
She's not a vampire.
She's a de-vampire.
Devamped. The baby's name is Shogo. You need to know this.
Okay. Okay.
Shogo.
Shogo is her adopted son. He was found in Budapest by her, and she adopted him when she was a vampire after she went to like some group called the Forgiven and learned to not worry about like needing blood or what have you. But then she was fixed.
Hungry all the time.
She was
How I
fixed
learned to
of
stop
her
worrying about eating
having
blood
blood and
love adopting babies
yeah.
in Budapest.
Well, the baby was like found in an orphanage, and like there was a whole story about that. And inevitably, she solved of her vampirism by Quentin Quire, who had the remnants of the Phoenix Force in him and used it to fix her vampirism.
Wow, the Phoenix Force can do many things.
yeah,
has
the
many
Phoenix Force has
powers.
many powers.
It has many powers. So she is not a vampire, and now she has a baby.
Sweet.
Babby.
Okay.
The Babby's secret is Babby's a human.
Okay, well, yeah, it's
But
just.
she doesn't want anybody
orphan.
on Krakoa to know that.
Oh, right.
Well, someone has to know, right?
Well,
sure
its
some people
powers
know.
wouldn't manifest yet because that doesn't happen until puberty.
Exactly.
So there's
So
no way to know.
it could tell, the gate can tell, they
Yeah.
can tell.
But they can let people
But
in
she doesn't
anyway,
want everybody
so-
to know,
Right.
right? So
Does
That's
that
a
mean, like,
dirty
if a
human.
kid came through the gate before they got their powers, they could be like, oh, well, you're gonna be a mutant.
yeah,
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
know if they have the X gene, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
in theory.
You could smell it on them.
Smell it. So anyway,
Delicious.
Betsy is greeted by Egg, formerly Gold Balls. That's what he goes by now.
Yeah.
He goes by Egg.
Oh, yeah.
Because he feels like it's a better
Forgot
use
about
of his
Gold
name.
Balls.
Yeah, it's also a way better name.
Yeah, and he's
I mean,
like,
it's a stupid name,
it's a
but it's
stupid
way
name,
better
but
than
it's better
Gold
than Gold
Balls.
Balls.
So we're getting there.
but
We're just
We're
one step
almost.
at a
Well,
time.
she says she's like, well, that's not going to stick. When he says that that's what he's going by now. So we have literally 3 different people who have changed their names. Betsy's not Psylocke, Apocalypse is insert symbol, and Gold Balls is now Egg. We get them all, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
At least Egg is kind of a name. Like, it's
Better than-
weird.
It's better than symbol.
Well, it's also better than Orb. I'm Orb.
We need you to come to the hatchery. It's about your brother, and it's revealed that they brought back Jamie.
And it's a hatchery! It's for eggs!
It is, exactly. That's what he does.
Yeah, he makes the egg, yeah.
So Jamie Braddock is back. And so this book is like, hi, he's back. Him and his reality-changing powers and his being a dick and all of it. And like basically they're like, he needs to go. He's making a mess and he sucks and he needs to get out of here. He's supposed to leave now. Can you help us, Betsy?
Just unhatch him.
Just,
Get him out.
And she's like, oh, I can't believe you brought him back. Like, I can't believe that.
Right,
She's
why
like,
would you do that?
It was not me, it was Krakoa.
well, yeah, it was whoever, someone decided that he was next in line to come back. And Jamie is like, don't tell Brian. And she's like, oh, I'm telling Brian. He has a right to know his brother is alive.
Yeah. Or whatever this friggin' thing is that we're calling his brother.
It's his brother. Or whatever.
I'm just waiting for
Pod
everyone who comes
brother.
out of the eggs to like be bad or something.
Well, I
be
mean,
a
like,
plant.
you would never be able to
they're
tell
pod
because he's
people.
a dick. They have like a scuffle, and then Apocalypse shows up, and he's like, hey, Betsy, could you I need to talk to you about your brother. And she's like, Jamie? He's like, no, Brian, we need Captain Britain, because that's who he feels is the champion who can break through to Otherworld.
Oh,
He's like, I
that
need
would
him.
make sense.
I need him to come here and help me.
Right, go get your brother. Get your brother, please.
I can't believe you didn't bring your brother.
And she's like, I would love to, because she wants to bring him to Krakoa
Right.
so that he'll see that Jamie's alive and punch him.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
Well, it's also better than, like, sending Jamie back to Earth.
Right?
Well, not Krakoa, I guess, because
Right.
Krakoa's on Earth.
Yeah, and don't forget, Jamie is technically the eldest. He's the oldest brother. That's why he's Jamie Jr.
Oh, so in Britain, like, he's the king of the castle.
Right, he gets the inheritance.
Right, but he's also an asshole, and like Brian's clearly in charge of everything.
Right. So he's gonna go back home, and Brian's like, well, the house is yours now. I have to move out.
Exactly, yeah. Bye, and my wife as well. So when Betsy goes to get her brother at the manor, he's already dressed up as Captain Britain because he got the call from Otherworld. And she's like, oh, that's funny. I know there's a problem there. And he's like, well, I'm going. And she's like, I'm coming with you. And so she changes her clothes by using Krakoan costume technology. Copyright. It's literally what
KCT?
it's called. Yeah, got the KCT going on.
What does that mean? It just conjures it from nothing?
Plants.
Science.
Oh. Is it like a projection of a costume?
Quantum.
Oh, yeah, quantum.
It's like the Flash's costume where it comes out of a really small thing.
No, it's like...
Sweet.
So anyway, he's like, yeah, come on with me. It would be an honor to have you with us. To have you with me. They go. They're in Camelot. She's like, oh, this is awesome looking. And he's like, isn't it awesome? And then Morgana's there. And she's like, hey, you're here. Cool. I summoned you here because we have to wage war on the witch breed. I didn't expect you to start killing them with your sister, but hey, let's do it. Because that's what she calls mutants. She calls them witch breeds.
Oh. Oh.
What?
Which is funny because that's in 1602. That's what Neil Gaiman referred to them as well.
That's
They're witch
fun.
breed.
So, Morgan Le Fay wants to kill all the mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, obviously that's where this portal came from. Screw them.
Who's laying siege to the castle? That was in the very beginning. What's happening with
The
that?
White Witch.
Ah, okay, so there's a witch.
Not to be confused with the amalgam character of Scarlet Witch and Zatanna. It's not that one.
No? It's not the amalgam character? I'm shocked.
It's not that one. I'm sorry.
It's a different...
This isn't the backdoor, like, like book to the secret Marvel and DC crossover.
Aha! That's what the portal is!
Exactly.
Amazing.
We check in with Rogue and Gambit, who are married. Don't forget that.
Okay.
They got married.
Well, they should have been always.
They got married in the end of Rogue and Gambit and the beginning of Mr. and Mrs. X, and they're very happy.
Okay.
And those. If you haven't read those, you should go read those. Those are by Kelly Thompson. She does a fantastic job.
Cool.
Regardless, they're on Krakoa, and Rogue's kind of questioning some of the laws there because one of the laws of Krakoa is make more mutants.
Oh. And...
Well, I mean, Krakoa's kind of taking care of that.
Well, yeah, but like Rogue's like. And like Gambit's like, I don't really care about that part. It's all the stuff that leads up to that part. That's what I'm all in for.
But like, it's really hard because every time I do it, you put me in a coma.
Yeah, how are you going to not die?
So Rogue can at times control her abilities, especially on Krakoa. Also, she has a power dampening necklace that she wears, which she wore.
It's a necklace, but I wear it on the crotch level.
No, it power dampens everything. Like she wears it there and it works. And that's how they were able to get married and go on their honeymoon. Not even kidding you. The honeymoon, by the way, Deadpool shows up.
Sweet.
Because he was doing something else, but also he used to bang, or he had a thing with Rogue.
Oh.
So, you know.
I guess that makes sense.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, he can't die.
Yeah.
Anyway, Apocalypse shows up, and he's like, hey, I need Rogue.
Gambit's like, everyone's trying to make time with my wife.
It's like, okay, so here's what happened. Betsy was supposed to go get Brian, and they were going to help me get to Otherworld, but then they went there by themselves, and now I think they're stuck there. Because we can't get them out via the portal. Yeah. And that's bad.
You still can't get in.
He's like, but I need Rogue to touch the portal to weaken the spell by absorbing the energy so that I can use my psychic abilities to connect to Betsy to tell her to disable whatever's happening over there so we can get her out of here. Also, I'm going to need Jubilee to get over here because she's the last one to have the conversation with Betsy, and so I can use her memories to help me psychically link to Betsy.
That's really complicated.
He's like, listen, ignore the fact.
Why would Rogue be able to suck the power,
the magic
out
of something?
Barrier?
Well, she can.
It's not like if she touches a tree, the tree dies.
She's gonna give it a shot. She's like, I don't know, and like Gambit's like, this is dumb.
Yes,
this is a bad idea.
Yeah,
like Gambit's like,
that sounds like a garbage.
Like literally, he's just like, No.
Also, if she absorbs the energy from the portal, is she going to become a portal? Is my wife a portal
does she
then?
get portal powers?
Well, he's like, I'm sorry. Are we listening to Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
No, you are listening to
he's a
insert
good
symbol.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
Well,
totally
he refuses
different
to
now.
do that. He's not calling him by that. And like he's like every time this guy, he's like, you ever done anything for this guy? Because he looks down his nose at you every single moment you're doing it for him. He's like a hat when you're scooping their litter box.
Yep.
Gambit has cats, and he likes his cats.
Right.
That's another reason why I like Gambit. Another reason I like Gambit. Check.
I have a question about Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Isn't Apocalypse like super powerful? Why does he need all these other mutants to like do shit
Because
for him?
he can't do the things that they can do.
Well, what does he do exactly?
Well, he's like really old.
Why doesn't he just like punch it really hard or something?
Because
Like,
that's not how it's going to work. He needs to do these steps. Also because he has a secret plan. Also, it's Apocalypse.
It's all a trick.
Don't forget.
Okay.
This book should be called Apocalypse.
Right.
And what he doing?
Right.
So, we find out that, in fact, yes, Betsy and Brian are under siege by Morgan Le Fay because he's not going to kill the witch brain. He's certainly not going to kill his sister.
No.
So, like she's...
okay, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, yeah, but you are the servant of Camelot.
Right.
And the
you're
other
in
world.
Camelot.
No, I'm just a protector of the other place.
So you're an oath breaker.
Oh.
So you got to do this, man. And so she sends her coven to attack them.
Yeah.
By saying the word Oathbreaker, is he like, is he forced to do it? Like,
No,
I have to
Betsy's
do it.
like, he's not an Oathbreaker. But as Betsy's fighting Morgan Le Fay, she like poofs away, and it turns out what they were doing was they were getting her off to the side so that Morgan could use her powers and basically corrupt Brian. And so she like takes him over, and he's like, you have to help me, Betsy. You have to use your powers to help me to fight this off.
Yeah.
But then he's like, you can't, because she can't use her powers on her twin. That's just a thing. She can't use her powers on her fraternal twin.
You mean like create a side dagger and stab him through the brain?
Or like, because she also
like,
has like telepathy, so like she can't go into his head and like help him to fight her back.
Right.
She can't do it.
She has telepathy?
Yeah. Apocalypse uses Jubilee's memories to go like in and like find Betsy and communicate with her, and is like, okay, you have got to attack the portal when I say go.
Okay.
And so then he has Rogue touch the portal, and she does in fact weaken it. Right? She grabs it and she weakens the barrier, and then Betsy throws a Psi sword into the barrier, causing an explosion of energy out on the Krakoa side, causing Rogue to go flying off of it.
Yikes.
And like basically, like Apocalypse is like, okay, so Betsy just sacrificed herself because she's trapped there because we can't get through the portal because it's destroyed now.
She just blew it up.
But like, hey, that worked out for us anyway. And then like Rogue's like, I don't feel right. And like Apocalypse is like, Gambit goes to like help her, and Apocalypse is like, dude, don't stay away from her. Something is not right. And then she goes to touch Krakoa, and when she does to get up, Krakoa's vines like just wrap all over her.
Oh.
And put her into a Sleeping Beauty Snow White-esque position.
What?
So seemingly, the energy of Krakoa and the other world meeting simultaneously was forced out by Betsy's sword, and it had to go someplace. And it went into Rogue. And it overpowered her, which has happened before. Rogue can be overpowered by the energy she absorbs.
Right.
But so she's in this like comatose state right now.
Okay.
So now she knows what it feels like.
Well, I mean, she's, well, yes, and Captain Marvel will show up and be like, ha! So they're like, we don't know what to do about this. So
right.
Betsy has
Well,
to...
someone has to kiss her, obviously.
Yeah, Gambit, obviously.
Right, well, no. Well, Gambit ends up like trying to punch Apocalypse because like...
It's like, you knew this was going to happen. This was your plan, wasn't it?
Screw you, I hate you.
Also, like, Brian becomes the Black freaking Knight.
Yeah, but not that Black Knight.
Not the actual
Not
Marvel
the Black
Black
Knight,
Knight.
you know, wielder of the Ebon Blade, just a Black Knight in general. And then, while he still has his faculties...
Okay, why is Rogue's clothes gone?
Because
Krakoa, man.
Because, well, A, Krakoa. B, we're talking about Arthurian myth and legend here.
Right.
Lady of the Lake shit.
You don't have to be naked.
You might be, though.
If you're an allegory
She's
for
like,
Lady of the
she's
Lake.
like a
or...
beautiful fey princess now.
Sweet.
It's like, everyone stop looking at my wife.
Or do, and high-five me later. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Brian with his faculties, like, turns to Betsy, who has his amulet now, because she got it off of him.
Oh, the Amulet of Rights.
And she's like, like, don't you need this anymore, or is her power enough for you? Like she's trying
hypnotizing him?
No, she's trying to bait him into coming back. Like you used to be awesome and stuff like that, and like, oh, you're too good for this now. And he's like, take it, go ahead. I don't need it anymore. Please, take it and put it on. Oh. And so she puts it on. And then transports out because it has teleportation powers as he like as he like slices down to kill her.
Right.
And like Morgan Le Fay's like, damn it, no! I suck at this.
Yeah.
When she shows up, she is the new Captain Britain.
Right. She's got the amulet. I guess it creates a costume.
Well, yeah.
Did it create his costume?
No.
Oh.
So.
But now it creates a costume.
It on. Yeah, whatever.
Maybe it's a mental telepathy costume.
Or it's because of the Krakoan technology.
Oh, the Krakoan technology.
It's an homage.
Oh, you're Captain Britain now? Okay, I'll make a costume.
Plus, it's got this weird X on top.
Yeah, well, yes, but like that's also kind of part of the British flag. But yes.
That's a badass costume.
It is. Her costume is awesome. So, remember we talked briefly about Mariana? Yeah, and she goes and joins the coven.
She killed her coven?
Yeah, she killed the coven.
She joins a different coven, the Coven Akaba.
They look way scarier than her
Gesundheit.
coven.
Yeah. Akaba is the ancient Egypt settlement where En-Sabanur is born and raised. You know, Apocalypse?
Yeah. What?
Okay.
Now, the Coven Akaba should not be confused with the Clan Akaba, which seemingly have nothing to do with one another, but the book hasn't finished, so let's say they have nothing to do with one another. They're all just human mages who serve Akaba. But not the Apocalypse version of it. Like, they kind of used to, maybe back in the day. Like, Apocalypse admits that. He's like, yeah, no, they used to be, like, kind of with me, but they're not at all. Like,
they really is its own thing.
Because they're like, Akaba used to be a human settlement until it wasn't. So, like, it's not his.
Right.
But, like, that word's, like, solely, you know, associated with him.
Also, there are so many A's in it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, also, after he was gone, then it's like, well, what are they going to do? You know, they're gonna find something else.
You gotta find something else to do. I think they just turned. Eventually, they were like, "No, I hate you. You're dumb. You don't care about us.
You're not mutants. I don't care about you."
You're right. I don't.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Like any good ruler, I give not one shit about you.
Exactly. Now, that was whole issue 1, which is why this book's a little bit of a hot mess.
Whoa. That was issue 1?
It's like an info dump. This is like an info dump because this book is 1 through 6, and then for some reason, issues 7 and 8, which are not in this book, are like a decompression and like a total waste of time and energy to accomplish one goal. And then issue 9 and 10 and on are going to be kind of important to what's going to be going on. I don't know why they did it this way, but fine, here we go. This issue establishes that not only were mutants around back in the day, like in like 4th century BCE, but they were often confused as being witches and exiled from their communities.
Sure.
Also, most people didn't live past an early age, so maybe a whole lot of people didn't get their powers.
Right, exactly. And so, like, Apocalypse kind of, like, we have, like, this memory for Apocalypse of these twins who were both, like, mutants, and their power was when they were together, they were always going in the right direction. They were exiled from their community. They built a raft, but they were bad at it. And so the raft sank, and Apocalypse could have saved them, but he didn't because he's all about Darwinism, basically.
Right. He's like, well, they were too stupid to live.
Yeah. You built a bad raft.
So he's like, so at the very least, like, I'll honor their deaths, or like, you know, I can remember where they died, which was like off the coast of England.
So I guess they didn't always go in the right direction.
Well, no,
I was
they
going to
did.
guess they were like
The right
Romulus
direction
and
would have
Remus.
been
Not
back
the
to
boat.
shore.
Yeah. Not the boat.
Like they get in and it just turns around. Like,
like,
oh, that's funny.
no.
It keeps just coming right back to shore. All right. Well.
After like the 3rd or 4th time, the boat's like, finally, you know what?
You know
Fine.
what? I tried. I tried.
Their mutant powers just quit on them. They're like, forget it. You deserve to die. So this is where the book's kind of like, we're just going to, listen, we're doing things and just accept that we're doing things.
Right.
So they all get on Captain Kate's boat from Marauders. Marauders is another book that's going on in which Kitty Pryde, who can't go to Krakoa because she's not allowed. The Krakoan gates will not allow her on.
Why?
We don't know yet.
Oh.
So instead, what she does is she takes up onto the high seas as a pirate, helping those who can't get to Krakoa because their countries or like hate groups won't let them get to the gates. She helps them and saves them by ferrying them to Krakoa.
So she can't go herself, but she can help others.
She can help others.
She's like an underground railroad.
Kind of. Well, she becomes the Red Queen.
Oh.
As like, part of the Hellfire Club.
Yeah,
she's offered the role of the Red Queen. Oh. Anyway.
I was just gonna be like, yeah, she's a pirate. She's the Red Queen.
Yo ho. It kind of works. It's a duality name. It works in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Anyway, she takes them to the location of the Captain Britain lighthouse. Captain Britain's
He's got a lighthouse?
home base was a lighthouse.
Sweet.
And the first one was destroyed, and they built another one, and so they're going to go there.
They're going to go to the new lighthouse.
They're going to go to the new lighthouse.
Lighthouse 2.
For reasons.
Cool. What, did they say?
No.
It's like, we have to get to the lighthouse.
They're going there, and like they bring Rogue.
Well, yeah, Betsy's got to get there. She's like, I have to go to the lighthouse.
It's a place of power, and so they're going to grow a Krakoan gate there. And so my guess is they feel like the Krakoan gate, new gate that goes to the other world, should be built there because it'll have the best connection.
Right.
And they probably just want to get Rogue to the other world because that might fix it. On their way there, they're attacked by Selkies, who are sent by one of the covens, I'm guessing, or they're attracted to the fact that Gambit is heartbroken right now. Selkies are a Scottish myth. They're seal people. What's funny about these is how angry they are.
Sea cows, you're saying?
No, seal people. They're kind of like mermaids, but not. But like typically, the Selkie is actually their stories. Like usually it's like the mythological creature makes woe upon humans. It's kind of the other way around. Like Selkies always get like screwed in their stories. Like
not the good kind of screwed.
Actually both. Because like if a fisherman or someone came upon a Selkie and was able to steal her skin, it's mythology, then she would be forced to become his mate and she would be a human. And she never gets to she can't be what she's meant to be, and she has to do whatever he wants basically. It's real messed up.
That's very
What do you
weird.
do with the skin?
I don't know, you keep it someplace.
Well, but then she doesn't have any skin?
No, I think it's like her seal skin or whatever.
Oh, then she's got the human
It's
skin.
reverse tusk?
Kind of, but it's sad.
And not just pathetic?
Yeah, but these Selkies are mad and they're attracted to Gambit because he's heartbroken because of what's happening with Rogue and what have you. So
and they want to steal his skin.
So who cares? They fight Selkies. The point is,
the point is they fight Selkies.
They get on the island and Kate leaves because they don't need to drag her into this. So the group is Jubilee, Betsy, Gambit, and Comatose Rogue.
Right.
That's a great team you got there.
Why is Jubilee there?
Because she wants to help.
Wait, did she leave Shogo behind?
Yeah, he's being watched by somebody.
Okay.
That's what she says.
This was a good move. Don't take Shogo with you.
Yeah,
right.
no.
So they're wandering around and she's trying to find the lighthouse. She's like, I know it's here somewhere. It's a lighthouse.
Shouldn't be that hard. It looks like it's right behind you.
Well, that's a rock.
Should be glowing.
That's a rock.
Well, it looks like a big tower.
So then she sees these hooded green folks. She's like, oh, you see those guys? And they're like, no. But she can see them. Because she is Captain Britain and she has the sight, she has a sight basically. And what she sees are the Druids.
Right.
Of old?
You get some Druids in
Some
this
Druids.
book. Yeah.
Now, not Druid, who is a character. The Druids.
Right, the real Druids.
Now, there are actually also Druids that were in old comics with Namor who fought like Nazis. I don't know if
not them.
They're not them either.
This is like the Druids from history.
They're actually not.
Oh.
These Druids are actually mutants, potentially. Seemingly based on the way they describe themselves, because they never outright say it, but they may be of the subrace of mutants, Changelings. Changelings are mutants who basically have their powers when they're born.
Are they people of the forest? Is the idea that
they're
the
people of the
Druids
earth?
Were these people?
I don't know. Maybe. But
the whole time they were Druids.
They specifically.
They were
so
some
here's something about these guys. They specifically all have power over Earth. They're like earthbenders.
Sweet.
They also all have red hair. So I'm like, you guys all
Inbreed?
Yeah.
The Druids tell Betsy that the lighthouse she's seeking was recently destroyed by Coven Akaba.
Another lighthouse was destroyed?
Yes.
You lost 2 lighthouses
She's
now?
like, cool. But they're like, hey, we know about Krakoa, so we grant you the right to grow something here.
There's no lighthouse, but you can grow a thing anyway.
Yeah, and so underneath Rogue, Krakoa starts doing its thing and grows a lighthouse.
Because they say it's okay?
Well, they gave the right for Krakoa to grow in the earth there because they're the Druids and they
control the earth.
They control the earth there.
Yeah.
And so
Krakoa was like, all right, cool.
yeah, I respect that.
I wasn't going to do it without you saying it's cool.
I could have done it anyway, but I did, want to respect
it's fine.
you. So.
And the light for the lighthouse is Rogue.
Oh.
And like Gambit's like,
oh, so she's like a lighthouse beam now?
he's like, I hate everything that's happening right now. Like, I don't like anything.
Why can't my wife just be my wife?
Yeah, why she gotta be
I
a
could
goddamn
finally
thing?
bang.
We were having a good time.
Yeah.
We were talking about real problems, and we have cats.
Don't forget.
Yeah. So basically, everybody goes to sleep except for Gambit, who just basically watches over Rogue. Like a crazy person.
He has tried kissing her, right?
No, well, Jubilee mentions that. I think, no, Kitty mentions that on the ship. He's like, you tried that? And he's like, I'm really not in the mood for jokes, which is not Gambit's style.
Right. So, no.
So, no, you haven't, right? So, while they're
just saying.
sleeping, Jubilee has a dream that Apocalypse has her son and knows that he's human.
Well, you did leave him behind, so that possibly is happening.
Right,
And
so...
Apocalypse is all about genetics and things.
Right,
Yeah.
well, that's Mr. Sinister. But also, yeah, but he's all about mutants. So she's like, I have to go back and get him. So she leaves.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have come in the first place.
Well, luckily Krakoa built that, so there's a portal back to Krakoa, right?
Yes, there's a portal in base of the
so you
lighthouse.
can just walk through it.
And it's not through Rogue. It's not like you have to go to the top and then walk through her.
No. She's at the top and the portal's at the bottom.
Okay.
Betsy has a dream in which she sees a fire wolf with a sword, follows it, finds a statue of Apocalypse who has platters of fruit, which say like, he will use us, we can use him. And she eats of the fruit.
Cool.
And then she wakes up because she hears this weird sound, and it's Shogo who's like eating her hair because like Jubilee wasn't paying attention for a second, and he's got a real thing for purple right now.
Oh.
And she's like, why did you bring him? And she's like, well, okay, I had a bad dream that Apocalypse had him, so I brought him here. But I think he's safe, and I'll be with him. And if anything happens, I'll just basically like shove him back through the portal.
Well, baby!
Go long!
And who's gonna catch him on the other side?
I don't know, Nightcrawler.
I always have someone on the other side with a baseball.
Why don't you
mitt.
bring some more mutants to help you?
No, this is the team!
This is the team. So then, basically, Gambit's like, you went and got the baby? You went back? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So then the Druids show back up. They're like, hey, Covenant Cop is coming. Prepare for battle.
Hey, maybe get that baby out of here. Why'd you bring a baby? What are you doing?
Right? So, like, Jubilee's gonna go back, but then they're literally under siege. The Druids are helping, and Gambit's helping. And
Why did you have a light at the top of your lighthouse?
It made it
just
really
drew
easy
them
for us to
right
find you.
there.
Right? And then Apocalypse is like, hey, is this a bad time? It seems like you're like under a lot of duress, Betsy. What's happening? She's like, hey, I've got a question. Covenant Kaba, what's up with that? And he's like, good question. Do you want me to come help? Do you want me to help? And she's like,
Maybe I'll talk to him.
she's like, stop dodging my question. Tell me what happened. He lays down the fact that he's like, yes, they used to be servants, but now they're not, and they don't like me. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I can come help. I can basically turn the tide of this battle for you.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't really need you. So he shows up anyway, and like in one fell swoop, like destroys all the Covenant Kaba.
Right.
Because he's Apocalypse.
Yeah. Sweet.
So then basically he's like, you have to go to the other world and save your brother. Like, he's like under like Morgan's thrall, and you have to go there and fix this.
Because he's gonna like kill all the
Why does
mutants.
Apocalypse care about that?
Machinations. If you're wondering,
Well, why don't they wonder why Apocalypse cares about that?
well, because Betsy does care about her brother, and that is why she's there, and that's who
Right.
she wants to help.
And he just cares so much about her well-being.
She doesn't give a crap. She's like, oh, that's like an excuse to go and do it, basically.
Yeah.
And like
Okay.
Gambit's like, we need to fix Rogue.
Yeah, what about my girlfriend, man?
And he's
Wife.
And Betsy's like, all right, you come help me, and then we'll fix this.
Right.
And he's like, all right, fine. But then like Jubilee has to go as well, and she's like, wait, I have to go back through the portal and drop off Shogo.
Right.
Because basically, by the way,
So she went to the lighthouse without Shogo. Then she goes back and gets him, and then comes back to the lighthouse with him, and then is going to take him back to Krakoa,
they were
and then
under
come back
attack.
without him. What was the point of bringing him in the first place?
I had a bad dream.
Apocalypse, I just want to point this out, this is a cool moment. Apocalypse like summons a big hammer, and he's like, I'll defend the lighthouse and Rogue until you get back, because his plan is he's going to perform a ritual which will do something.
Just the
wake
way show up and
Rogue
be
up?
like, hey, you got another one of those?
Right? It'll, in theory, fix Rogue, save Brian. It'll do lots of things.
Okay, why doesn't he just do that right now?
Because it's a ritual, it takes time, and he needs components. and he doesn't have all of them. He needs material components for his spells.
Okay, yeah, but I actually wanted to cast that.
Well, you didn't actually cast it, so now there's ogres. So, but what he says, and this, I just thought this was a cool line, where he goes like, Rogue and I together cannot be defeated. And I was like, that's cool.
Oh.
He's like, he acknowledges that Rogue's pretty powerful.
Yeah. She is unconscious.
She's in a coma.
She is that.
Which might dampen her usefulness a little bit.
Right?
Not if I use her as a human shield. I'm sorry, a mutant shield.
Well, she has all this energy. I don't know.
I'll just throw her at people, and she'll like suck the energy out of them, and
Yeah.
then I'll go pick her up and I'll throw her at another.
He'll just always be on the other side of her. And he's like,
Yeah,
on,
just like
come on,
shoving her on
on.
people to suck their life out.
Genius.
He's like swinging her around.
Gambit's like, I feel like I'm sensing something's wrong. I don't even have those powers.
I want to see that so badly.
So
I'm using Rogue as a cudgel.
yeah, wham! She's super strong. It's fine.
Yeah.
They arrive in Otherworld, and Jubilee's like, Shogo's gone. She's like freaking out.
Wait,
What happened?
What?
So it just disappeared?
Shogo's a dragon.
what? What?
So they go to the Otherworld, where the Fae are, and like in mythology, like Fae have a fascination with children and their power and their imagination, because children are unbridled by reality in a way. You know what I mean? They can imagine anything, and so they have like great power within them. And so Fae will take babies, like in mythology. Like they'll like take children and put like something else in their place.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what they do. And when Shogo gets there, the Fae are like enamored by his power because he's a human child there. And so Shogo's like in his head must have been like, I want to be a dragon. And so they were like, poof, you're a dragon.
Sweet.
I'm a baby. Poop.
He's also a slightly purple dragon.
Yeah.
He's
like
into
Lockheed.
purple. Well, yeah. Also,
Oh.
there's also the like allegory between that. Like we've got Lockheed and Jubilee, it's like kind of
Right.
like, or not Lockheed and Jubilee. We've got Shogo and Jubilee with Lockheed and Kitty, and
Yeah.
Man, they're owned by Disney right now. I can't believe they didn't turn him into Figment.
that would be dumb.
Yes.
A mutant by the name of Richter is here. Richter,
Cool.
obviously, his powers are.
Earthquake based.
No, he's an excellent sidekick to the Conan O'Brien. No, yes, he is. he has seismic-based powers.
Neat.
Richter has been part of many teams, including like X Factor and X Force. He's had a rough time, honestly, and for a while was suffering from depression, which seems to be a factor for him right now.
Okay.
And he also can't control his powers. Since his powers are seismic-based,
That's pretty bad.
he can't leave his apartment, so he can't go to Krakoa.
Why can't he leave his apartment?
Because every time he steps outside, he causes an earthquake when he touches the earth.
Oh.
Like
Well,
the
why does he
physic-
just wear friggin' shoes?
Why don't they pick him up in the Blackbird?
I don't think it's enough. I'm guessing at least like the foundation of his apartment is enough to like keep it from happening.
Okay.
But regardless, like he's sad. He's like watching mutants on TV going, and he's like, I can't go, so go for me, yay. And then we see like one of those info dump pages, but it's actually like a set of forum posts, and like he's posting there on like a throwaway account about like, hey, just go.
No one will go get Richter.
They're like, you know,
Richter's cool.
Why is it?
Whatever happened to
Why does a
Richter?
Nightcrawler just pick him up and poof him there?
Because I guess they don't know.
Like, if
But,
we
like-
bring you to Krakoa, you'll cause a huge earthquake at Krakoa.
That's what he's afraid of that. And like
Oh.
mutants have reached out to him telepathically to come, but like he's like, I can't go. I'm afraid I'll break it. I'm afraid I will break Krakoa.
Yeah, just live in a treehouse, man.
I don't,
Does that count? If he's he's sitting in a
Probably.
tree?
He's
Can I
he's
consider
technically on
but like he's still isolated then.
Yeah.
in an apartment. Like the floor is made of
it?
stone.
People can come visit him if he's in a treehouse.
Right.
So I think that's a good idea. You should do that.
At some point, Morgana hears from Mariana, who's found out that basically Apocalypse is behind.
Wait, Mariana is helping Morgana?
Well, yeah, Coven
Yeah.
Akaba is working with her.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. She
Because
sent
they,
the ghosts and talked to her.
yeah, remember she's all about it.
Yeah.
But like they figured out that like
I
Apocalypse.
thought that's why she killed her covenants, because she didn't want to deal with.
No, she killed her coven because that's what she thought Morgan wanted her to do.
Yeah.
She's like, that's what she wants me to do.
She wants to kill them.
I'll kill them.
I'll make them ghosts. You want a ghost, right?
Okay.
I
That's not.
appreciate the go-getterness of this
Yeah.
move, but
Didn't tell you to do that.
didn't.
Interesting.
I don't know if
Good
you're
to know you will, though.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't know if you were looking for like a promotion
Yeah.
But that's not how
We don't
get
have
it.
any openings right now.
So,
Why don't you find another coven?
so anyway, but she's like, Apocalypse is to blame for this. And she's like, cool, then where's his head? And it's like, you're a little out of touch here.
Nah.
Okay. So anyway, Shogo does some recon because he's a dragon. He finds Camelot, and because Betsy's telepathic, she can like read his mind and is able to tell her that like that's where they're gonna go, like what have you.
I thought she was only telepathic with her family. I was
No.
wondering if she's
No,
Captain
she
Britain.
can't use her powers on her family.
Yeah.
Well, not on
Oh.
her brother. She can use them on Jamie.
Okay.
And anyone else, just not
Right,
her
just not her
fraternal
twin.
twin.
I assume
Right.
because she was Captain Britain, she could telepathically communicate with all dragons.
Oh, I mean, maybe. We don't see any other dragons with her talking to them, so
Can she talk to like a dog?
maybe. Their plan is they're going to go to Camelot and they're going to try to get Brian back. And like, Gambit's like, this is bad. We have to go back and get Rogue.
Jesus,
You
man.
just got here, man.
Yeah, well, now I'm really regretting it. There's a dragon
Well,
now.
he's-
It's all gone to hell.
Well, Jubilee got to go back for her baby.
Well, he's worried because he's like, we left her with Apocalypse. Apocalypse!
Well, that was the plan, though. If
Right?
you didn't want to leave her with Apocalypse, you probably shouldn't have left her with Apocalypse.
Yeah, well. So anyway, they go to the castle and they lay siege, and then Brian shows up as the Black Knight, and he
Right.
fights Betsy for a while.
Okay, that is a very different outfit than he had on before.
Oh yeah, I mean they like.
He upgraded it.
Well, it was this, and then they like added some crap to
Yeah.
it. Put some
Just
more
getting
chains
even
on
more,
him. You know,
yeah.
just gotta complete the look. Got some belts, got a cape.
yeah.
Cool.
Is he going to have like even more later?
No, I think this is like the pinnacle of
okay.
his accoutrement. While they're fighting, like Betsy clearly doesn't want to fight him, and then like she mentions that she's like, no, you got to come back for like Megan and Maggie and Jamie, and that kind of throws him over the edge the other way because
He's like, what?
yeah. So then like it's clearly not going in her favor.
Right.
So then like Jubilee has Shogo breathe dragon fire on them. He's been using it here and there, like not at
Okay.
people, but like at buildings to try to like do crowd control. He's like
Right.
doing that kind of
Like,
role.
burn them,
Yeah, like go for it.
unleash hell.
But like, she's trying not to have him attack them specifically.
Right.
So they make it back eventually. Like they just
Do they get Captain Britain or they just give up and leave?
they give up and leave.
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse, meanwhile, is like, okay, so I need certain things to make this happen. So I need special crystals, and I need crystals that are formed from the fossilized bones of these old mutants. Because when old mutant bones fossilize, they turn into crystals,
Okay.
especially magic crystals.
He wants fossils from dead mutants from when?
He wants oil?
No, like basically some of these mutants, especially like these like witch breed ones, very specific ones, especially like old ones, they turned into crystals.
And
they
then you
have-
crack them into powder and you snort them like Rick and Morty?
Yeah, exactly. That's all he wants. This has nothing to do with machinations. He just wants to get rickety wrecked.
From what, 400 BC?
Yeah. Like
I
they've
don't think
had.
that's enough time to fossilize.
Well, they did.
Well, it's a mutant power.
But
I
they're
guess if
also-
it's like magic
They're
and
like
shit, then
and they're
whatever.
like they're imbued with the powers of Brand. They've been sitting there just absorbing power, basically.
Okay.
And so he needs those. He's like, that's a component I need. I
Oh,
need that.
because they're connected to the earth. That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
They're druid bones.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
And so, like, he needs someone who can specialize in finding those things. So naturally, he goes and gets Richter. Basically,
Really? He doesn't just get like a new age shop owner?
yeah, right. Because you need a little divining rods.
I'm gonna get my crystals.
Ooh.
It turns out it's all real.
This is a really funny scene,
That would blow their freaking
right?
mind.
They're like, "Ooh."
What?
Apocalypse jumps into a portal and just shows up in like someplace. I don't know if they're in New York or whatever, but it's just really funny because like people are taking like photos. They're like,
Yeah.
"Is that?
Oh,
Holy
it's
crap!"
Apocalypse.
Like he's just walking. It's just like, yep, whatever.
I'm just going for
Hails a
stroll.
cab.
And he's just
No one will pick me up.
fine. I'll walk. Basically, he finds Richter and he's just like, "This depression is unseeming of you. You don't need this."
I have come to give you a piggyback ride.
Ew.
No, he basically talks to him. He gives him therapy
Oh.
and helps Richter control his powers through that.
Oh.
I'm like,
Oh, someone talks to him like
well,
a person.
yeah, and like Richter's like, to be fair, the guy's like older than dirt, so he's picked up a couple of things about how
Yeah.
people work. I was like, I really can't full out.
okay,
That's all right,
yeah.
that's fair.
He's been around.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of shit.
So he
Knock it off.
Yeah. When he brings him to the lighthouse, like Richter's like, where are we? And he's like, we're in like England, in Cornwall. And he's like, cool. I thought we were gonna go to the island. I heard there's like a cool party happening.
Yeah, I
there.
wanted to go be in like the orgies, but
This is cool too, I guess.
yeah.
So is it just like me and you?
Any girls here?
There's one.
There's one at the top.
Any guys?
She's in a coma.
Although to be said, I believe Richter is gay. So, you know, I don't know if Apocalypse is doing it for him.
So maybe he's just like, I'm fine with this.
No, he's not. He really wants to go to the party. He's a younger person. Like, he's like, I would like to go to the party.
Yeah.
I'm older than dirt.
No
I've learned a
but you're
few
like
things.
1,000.
Yeah, like we had like a heart-to-heart talk. This is not, like, this is helpful, but like not what I was looking for.
Yeah, but check out those abs on Apocalypse.
He's got like all the abs,
He
but
has
he's like
Too
that.
many abs.
A for abs.
He's kind of like that, like, are you ripped or are you not? I can't
Right.
tell kind of body type sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, then Pete Wisdom shows up and he's looking for Captain Britain.
Oh yeah, Pete. Who?
Pete Wisdom.
Pete Wisdom is a mutant as well. He has like thermal like abilities. He can absorb thermal radiation kind of stuff and then shoot it back out of his fingers like hot knives. Pete Wisdom is like a intelligence character, and I don't mean like an intellect. I mean like he works like for MI6.
Oh.
And he's worked for a group called MI13, which dealt with like weird supernatural things and stuff like that.
Because 13's unlucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a magic number and all that crap. But like he's that kind of character.
It's like the X-Files.
Yeah, but he's also
like
worked
the
like,
Mulder of.
yeah, but he's also like kind of a spy, and he has worked for MI6 and he's done stuff like that. But he works for like Britain. He's part of like the government
Right.
as well.
He's a British character, and they wanted to put another British.
But he's
character
also
in the book.
tied to Captain Britain.
Okay.
And he has a thing
right,
for
he's
Betsy.
part of the whole thing. Oh.
Oh.
Well, I mean, like she's super attractive. Whatever. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
So anyway, they come back. Betsy had to go to see the Queen, who was like, hey, because Mariana's way of like fixing the problem is taking down Captain Britain, because Morgana's like, how could England be cool with a mutant Captain Britain who right now technically serves Krakoa? Like you're part of it. You're not even part of this world anymore. You're part of
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And like she's
Well, because
like,
I went there.
well, no, because like if you're a mutant, then you're a citizen of Krakoa.
Like automatically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean your allegiance is there.
But they don't know that, and like she's, you know,
yeah, it's the Queen.
and like right now there's a lot of unrest in the world.
Right. It's people like
But, like,
mutants are all
Mariana's
creepy
like-
and weird now.
Mariana's like, well, not every, like nobody knows that Captain Britain isn't a guy anymore. They're like, they don't know that it's a mutant now. So
Right.
she leaks the information to like this underground news source that then like puts it out everywhere. And so now there's like protests going on about Captain Britain being a mutant.
Put the dick back in Captain Britain!
He's not here, man.
Also, what?
Well, they're ever upset that she's a woman.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but where's there's no D in Captain Britain. Gambit gets into a fight with a bunch of people outside because he's mad.
It seems like they don't really know what to do.
The book or the team?
The team. They're just
Both?
like,
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, this is a lot of magic, and most
sucks.
of these group like characters don't have anything to do with that.
Right.
Oh, so when they left the other world,
Yeah, they just came back. She's the
Shogo is no longer a dragon.
No, he's a baby again.
He's back
Okay.
to being a baby.
Yeah,
He's
Babby.
only a dragon when he's over there.
Yeah. So essentially, Betsy and Pete Wisdom have to go do stuff. Like, she's got to go see to her Captain Britain duties for a little bit.
Okay.
Apocalypse is like, I have another thing I need to have happen. I need these crystals, and I'm going to need the help of a guy who knows Earth really well and a master thief. Which is
Gambit.
why Gambit was there.
Oh.
Machinations, people.
Okay.
So he's like,
Yeah, but he's not part of the Thieves Guild anymore.
but he's still a master thief.
All right.
You don't lose those skills. Anyway, Megan and Jubilee run into each other, and like, you know, she's upset because of all the things that are being said about Betsy, and like, when's Brian coming home, whatever. And then Jamie shows up, and
You're
Jamie,
supposed to get Brian. What happened to that plan?
right? Well, it hasn't happened yet. And
Yeah.
Jamie is our super creep here, where he's just like, hey, Jubilee, why don't you run along and leave me with my brother's pretty wife? And Jubilee's like, screw you, and she just punches him in the face.
Nice.
Can't they just like kick him off the island?
Yeah.
He's like, he's an Omega level mutant.
Oh, is he? What does he do?
He can warp reality.
Oh.
So
Oh.
everything they were concerned about with Scarlet Witch, he could do.
Yeah, and he's also a dick.
Right.
I
Great.
feel like, you know, kill him.
Shouldn't the X-Men be doing something about this?
They brought him back. Like, he had to be voted on to come back. He's like, there's like a line of like people had to go back. He had to be approved.
And they're just leaving him to his own devices?
Look,
Where's
we
Br-
need a
I
villain.
guarantee you by the end you'll understand why.
Okay.
Anyway, Remy and Richter go on their adventure. They go to find the crystals. The crystals are being kept by the Druids. The Druids see Richter and they're like, dude, You are one of us. Have you had your powers from birth? Can you manipulate the earth?
Is your hair red? Yeah. No?
Okay.
Well, that's 2 out of 3 ain't
close
bad.
enough.
That'll probably work out for us. It'll kind of spice up the gene pool. Then you might be one of us. So basically, they're like, you should come here. And like the reason you're having issues with your powers is because like you're not embracing them like we are. You got to live underground.
Oh,
gotta
that's
get some
hilarious.
robes, man.
He goes down there, they put a robe on him, they start painting his face.
They're
Some
putting
robes
flowers.
and some antlers. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie, the antlers look badass.
They do look badass. It really works for these druids. It really does work out. But like, to be fair,
One of us.
Richter's been isolated. He's been suffering from depression. He didn't get to go to the island party.
And now we found a people.
Yeah, and now these
Yeah.
people are like, dude, we love you.
Yeah.
You're in.
We don't even know you.
And he's like, that's cool. And like, Gambit's like,
hey.
Richter?
Richter, buddy?
We got some stuff to do,
That's not what
man.
we're here for.
Yeah.
Like Gambit, by the way, he already stole some crystals. They're the wrong ones. And they're like, you're looking for these. We leave those out because they're decoys. Screw you. And they're like, basically,
Decoy crystals!
Stupid idiot. You got the wrong
dumbasses.
crystals.
They're over here. I only stole these so you would tell me where the real crystals were.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happens. Then they attack and they like try to get rid of Gambit, and Richter goes to save Gambit.
Is that how they're fighting the druids?
No, the druids are only fighting Gambit, and Richter's trying to stop that.
Okay.
They're like, no,
Guys.
come on, just stop
No,
fighting
you
over
can't.
me.
Just give
That's
us like
Gambit.
one crystal.
Yeah, he's like, I can't let Gambit die. He tries to save Gambit.
Rogue's
Gambit,
gonna kill me when she wakes up.
if she wakes up. Ooh, no. So like Gambit falls into a chasm. Inevitably, Richter will save Gambit and by accident tap into the power of the crystal and use it. But he doesn't know he did it
Use it to what?
to amplify his powers in order to save Gambit because Gambit's fallen too far, and so he's able to use the crystal's power to like amplify his stuff to save Gambit.
To, like what? Shoot like a rock up under him? To
Yeah,
catch
and it
him or
catches his
something?
coat.
Yeah.
So like that
cool.
will happen. But they don't know he used the crystal until later. So anyway.
Dude, you used our crystals? That's like a great 15 other greats grandpa.
Yeah, well, now it's not. Sorry. So anyway, Betsy's job that she had to go do was meet with Kavanakaba, who was the accusers of,
Yeah.
unrest,
right.
basically.
They're the ones saying like you're
So
a
the
mutant,
queen said-
you're a dirty mutant. You can't be.
Yeah.
You have to go to Kavanakaba and you have to have tea with them.
Why is the
and-
queen listening to freaking
like-
Coven people wearing freaking robes and shit?
I don't know, because it's a different world. Because at
least they're human.
Because magic and mutants and superheroes all exist in this world. So
Right.
yeah, you're gonna listen to these people.
Right.
So anyway, this scene is
They're clearly evil.
They're clearly evil. They're clearly evil, right? They're very
Look at
obvious.
them.
But they have their shit together.
Right, and they're playing chess. Betsy's playing like ping pong. Like she is not on board for the level that they're moving things
Right,
around.
right.
And essentially, like they're just playing like they're matching back and forth word games. Like you know what I mean? Like, like how could you possibly know what's going on? You've been on like Captain Britain's been on Paradise. Like that's basically what they end up saying to her because what they reveal is that they're like, hey, you know, Dragonfire is a dangerous thing, and you'd know that if you were worthy of being Captain Britain. But to be fair, my understanding is you were just given that amulet. You didn't make the choice, so you're not worthy of crap. So you didn't know that when Shoko used the Dragonfire in the other world, it actually kind of fucked up the boundary between the two worlds, and now magical creatures are just kind of pouring out. So
What?
You probably should have been dealing with that.
Where?
Oh, all over the place. But you were too busy worrying about Krakoa to deal with it.
What?
So, like, basically they set her up to look like an asshole.
Right.
Okay, that's the baby's fault.
That's
But
no,
Captain Britain
except
shoulda known.
no, because they're probably making it up.
No, like, literally it did.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
So they're right. She did, or she contributed to.
Yeah, so
A
this is-
hippogriff
Break it down
and
to
a
bear.
hydra.
No, that's just
Oh,
a regular griffin.
That's just a griffin.
That's a griffin and a hydra and a manticore. So anyway, then like Apocalypse is like, okay, Rogue, the war's come to us, but hey, we've been working this whole time, right? Ha ha. You're like, what?
Yeah, Apocalypse,
Okay.
sure.
So then, like, inevitably, Gambit and Richter leave with the crystal, and they're like, as they're like heading back to the lighthouse, they're like running into monsters. They're like, okay. Gambit immediately guesses. He's like, I'm guessing this came from Otherworld. Whoops.
Yep.
He's like, got it. Apocalypse reaches out to everybody. He's like, the lighthouse is under attack. You guys got to get back here. Betsy realizes she has to leave. Pete Wisdom's like, you have to go. I have to save Britain because this is my country.
Oh right, Pete Wisdom's there.
Yeah, hot
went with her.
knives.
Hot knives. So.
Oh, he'll melt an ingot and it'll go down the Manticore's throat.
I think if he gets like fired upon by the
Yeah, he
Hydra
can
here, which
use
is
it
he can absorb it and then use it back at it.
That's cool.
So Pete this is a really cute scene because like Betsy's like, okay, like grab on and I'll get us over to where we need.
Hop on my back.
And he's like, seriously, like any other time if you said that to me, I would step over my mother to make this happen.
Right.
But I can't right now. Like it's just such a really adorable scene. Like he's just like, huh,
What's it so bad?
but I have
Purple hair?
responsibilities. England prevails.
He's saying that in the shower later. England prevails.
Cold shower. Rogue in her comatose state is like having like this dream
With the fire dog.
with the fire dog.
Hey, it's that fire dog again.
And like she's like, oh, okay,
We're
cool.
calling it a fire dog. It's clearly a hellhound.
It's a fire dog.
Hey, fire
it's
dog.
smiley?
Like, what are you, man?
Fire dog is actually Prestige, the mutant Prestige, also known as Rachel Summers.
Oh.
Get
I guess
it.
that makes sense because Phoenix, fire dog.
So like basically like Rogue is like progressing things and like Apocalypse is like things are happening right now and they really shouldn't be. I don't know what's happening. Like this wasn't supposed to happen so quickly. Like Rogue was supposed to gather these powers and then when I was ready for my ritual, we were going to do this thing and Gambit's like,
And I was going to steal her powers?
no, he's going to use them to open the like to basically go to Otherworld.
No.
But they went to Otherworld before, and he deliberately didn't go.
Yeah, but like he has to do a ritual and like he's studying magic.
It's like, I'm not powerful enough, I guess, to
Well,
go
like,
now.
I'm all based on, like, the physical, but, like, I don't know magic, and magic rules over there.
I guess.
He's looking for something very specific to happen, and so he's making all these things occur, but he's also simultaneously studying magic for very
Right.
specific reasons.
Oh, no, the Kraken is attacking the lighthouse.
Yeah, seemingly. But anyway, Gambit's like, yeah, about your little timeline, I messed that up. And he's like, I'd love to know how you think you affected my timeline. He's like, well, like, you know, I woke up Rogue. And he's like, but you're not a telepath. And he's like, but I know at least 10 other telepaths on Krakoa, so I just asked one of them to do it.
Oh.
And Apocalypse is like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
I want my wife back.
Yeah.
So he asked Rachel
I'm
Summers
Harrison Ford.
to go in her head and basically lead her on a vision quest to get her the
get
hell
her-
out of there.
yeah.
As she's there, like you can see this like crazy energy building up within her, which is the thing that was supposed to clearly like show her the way out.
Sentinels?
Yeah, there's like sentinels that look like Easter Island or Stonehenge kind of
Yeah,
like
interesting.
monoliths there. Obviously, it like
They're not
influenced
real
by.
sentinels.
No, it's like but
mind
it's influenced
sentinels.
by her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she sees a sword and she cuts into her stomach because she senses that Gambit's getting the shit kicked out of her. It releases the energy, which leads her to a throne, which leads her to leave,
To wake up.
to wake up. And so she does as, like, Gambit's fighting Apocalypse. He's like, no,
Right.
I hate you. You
Right.
took my wife from me. It's not going well.
Right.
But still, he's doing it.
You told her to touch the portal, man.
Yeah. And then Gambit's like, okay, give me the crystals. Wait, these are spent. Oh my God, what did you do? And like Richter's like, oh my God, I must have used it to save Gambit. He's like, Gambit,
Again, Gambit.
it's a thorn in my side.
Yeah. I
There are
didn't
all
use
these
them.
crystals.
He used them to save me.
Yeah.
There's
but,
one
like, I didn't
crystal
tell
that
him to
was
do that.
used. One.
But that was the only one they took. They
They
only took
one.
one.
The other one was a fake.
The other ones were fakes. So anyway, then Rogue shows up and she's like got like a cool outfit and it's covered in like Krakoan pieces.
Sweet.
And like she's like, you're dead meat. And he's like, you're perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah. For a minute, by the way, Apocalypse was like, maybe the energy I need is in Gambit. And he's like, gonna go get him. And then like he realizes, he's like, wait a minute. He's like, you've got the Krakoan energy and the portal energy. And my bones are pretty old and they've been absorbing energy for forever.
Let's bone.
So he's like, she grabs him and he's like, go for it. Kill
Do
me.
it. Yeah. Suck it all out.
Yeah. And so she kills Apocalypse.
Really?
And then looks like fucking Apocalypse. And it's awesome. She kills Apocalypse. She's like, I didn't mean to, but he told me to do it. I couldn't stop.
I kind of figure if
I
she
was
touched
really pissed
Apocalypse,
at him.
regardless, she would look like him.
Probably, but like it just
Yeah.
looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's just cool looking. And they're all like, but I mean, he doesn't really die. Because Krakoa. And he's part of the inner circle. So
right, he just wakes up
He jumps
again.
the line.
Oh, yeah.
So they bring him back immediately.
What a punk.
And like Xavier's like, I don't really appreciate you utilizing this whole like thing to like further your own plans, Apocalypse.
Right. Like, I am going to bring you back.
Also, Jamie Braddock is
like-
there.
Jamie Braddock's there to greet him. And he's like,
Yeah.
hey, Jamie, what's up? Because he's wondering, like, what if Otherworld was ruled by a reality warping mutant? It's already kind of not real to begin with. It's already got its own issues going
Right.
on. What could he do with it?
And no one's going to stop him because they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
The X-Men are all weird now, so...
So the ritual goes through. Basically, Krakoa takes over Camelot, the castle, and, like, rebuilds it for itself. So that's what the ritual did. It allowed Krakoa to basically go into Otherworld and really make a stronghold there.
Like, this is mine now.
Yep.
So what happens to... What does Morgan Le Fay see?
Morgan Le Fay sees whoosh, and then she's like, son of a...
She's a big bright light.
Yep, and then the team is there, including Richter now, and
Right.
Shogo the dragon.
Ah.
And, like, Apocalypse is, like, essentially ends up telling Jubilee, it's cool, I took care of the Dragonfire, so you can use it later, but he doesn't use it now.
I took care of the Dragonfire. How? I just took care of it.
Well, what happened to all the magical creatures that were in our world?
We took care of a lot of those as well, and also, like, Pete Wisdom's working. There are people, like, responding to
Right,
that.
they're dealing with that,
They
okay.
did as much as they could, and I'm sure, whatever.
We made a big circus out of them.
It's cool, don't worry, come on down.
Were those all babies too, or not?
No, they're just actual magical creatures.
Okay.
They're just, because when they come to our world, they're still magical creatures.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
They would turn back into babies.
So anyway, then Apocalypse shows up and he's got a cane because he's not up to full strength. He's weakened. It's just kind of a cool image of Apocalypse to have like a walking cane. And he's like, hey, I'm here to serve you guys. I know I screwed up, but like it was all kind of part of a plan and it's all working out for you guys anyway, right?
Yeah.
Rogue's awake. We're going to save Brian. And my way to save Brian is my champion, Betsy, will fight your champion, Brian, to the death.
How's that gonna? That's not gonna save him. It's
Well-
gonna kill him.
Right? Well, like, they're like,
Yeah,
obviously Betsy's not going to kill him.
Also,
Right.
what's death over here? This is the other world.
No, Brian can die.
Yeah, he's
People
a
can
person.
die.
He's a human.
And like that's interesting because they're like, Betsy can't really. She'll just be brought back.
Right.
And
but then
like-
she'll lose, so she won't get him back.
Right. And but Morgan goes like, so my champion will fight like life is precious to him, and yours will fight like life is meaningless.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
Because
interesting
she can be
between-
brought back.
Yeah. So she'll be sloppy and she doesn't, whatever. Basically, like then Rogue and Betsy have a heart-to-heart, and like Rogue's like, I know Apocalypse is kind of a dick, but I mean, like, I don't think he really wants you to kill your brother. He clearly has some other plan.
He's got machinations going on.
That's one of his many powers.
I don't understand why they're doing any of this. They have Rogue with Apocalypse powers.
Which should be unstoppable.
She should be able to just win.
Because we need a Braddock to win against the champion of Morgan Le Fay so that they can put a Braddock on the throne of Otherworld.
So they have
has
to
to
like
be a
has
Braddock?
to be like official.
Well,
Why couldn't it just be Rogue being like...
Because Braddocks have a tie to this world. One of the Braddocks came from here.
That's my point. Like, Rogue defeats,
Let's
their
just
champion.
punch Morgan Le Fay in the face.
And then she's just like, and I succeed my power to a Braddock.
Right? No, that's not how it goes down. Betsy and Brian fight. Betsy ends up skewering Brian with his own sword by accident.
Oh.
And then Apocalypse is like, all hail King Jaime.
What?
Because he's the eldest. And that's all he wanted. That's what Apocalypse wanted.
He wanted to put Jaime,
put
on,
Jaime
the
on the throne.
Jaime has reality-altering
he's like
powers.
a dick?
Couldn't he just go there and defeat Brian?
Probably, but he hates Brian, so he doesn't want to do that. He's like, no, I'm happy to see this. This is awesome.
Right. This is cool.
then-
for
What
me.
a jerk!
So then Betsy threatens Jaime by putting her boot on his,
Oh.
his family jewels,
Yeah.
and is like, bring Brian back because I know you can. That was
right.
also part of Apocalypse's plan.
Right. He's
And
like, let's just bring it back.
And so they do, and like Morgan was supposed to be exiled, but instead Jamie's like, oh, you're exiled, but you don't get to decide where, so we're just gonna keep you here.
You're exiled to the basement.
Here. So then everybody goes home, and Rogue and Gambit have a very like intimate conversation.
I don't believe that's called exiled. I think that's being called kidnapped.
Yeah,
Potato, potato.
who cares? Rogue and Gambit have a very intimate discussion
a hot
about
tub.
having children.
Okay.
Because
Does she no longer have apocalypse powers?
yeah, they kind of finally wore off. She's like, I've gotten rid of them. We're cool. And like, so now
Gambit's like, could you get them back?
he's like, your blue was kind of
I
hot.
like the blue.
Pretty sweet.
I dug it.
It was like friggin' Avatar up in here.
It was exotic, and I liked it.
We have cats. You were blue. Oh my God! Just get James Cameron here to film the whole thing.
And I'm in. So Rogue's decision, though, basically is that like, I don't even know if I could have kids. And while I was dreaming in the tower, I had a dream that I was on a slab and I was being examined by like almost like an autopsy by like Professor Xavier and like the five who can bring people back. And they were trying to figure out if I could even have children. Because like if there's a life inside
Right.
of her,
I'll just suck the life out of it.
And she's like,
Yeah,
I don't know if
Oh my God.
She's like, I don't know if I even want to find out. She's like, the fact is, I don't let people in, and I let you in, and I'm kind of just cool with that. Like, can't we just have that?
Right.
And he's like, I'm happy with that. Like, he just is happy to be with her. He doesn't
Look,
care.
I wanted to bring it up, but if you're cool, we're cool.
Yeah. And he's just like, there's nothing wrong with it just being you and me. And we'll just see where the like life takes it. Like, I love their relationship.
Yay.
They're so great. And he's just
And
like,
if we want, we could adopt. If not, we just have cats.
yeah. And he does mention the cats. And like, basically, it's cute because he's like, but if you do want to have a kid, it's a great excuse to fool around. And she's like, who needs an excuse? And you're like, ha, nice. Then we go and check in on the Braddocks. Brian's having a meltdown in his house. He's like, she messed me up real bad.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
And he has a sword. And she's like, where did you get the Sword of Might? And he's like, they came to me. Merlin and Roma, his daughter, came to me again in a dream. And they gave me the option. And I took the sword because the part of me that would have taken the amulet died when Morgan took me over.
Oh.
Wait, is Betsy still Captain Britain?
Yeah, she still has the
Still got
amulet. And so, like, now he turns into this. And he's just like, but I'm not a hero. Like, I can't, like, he's like, I can't do it. And she's like, no, it's cool. She's like, you are a hero. You are Captain Britain. And he's like, no, because if they know I have this now, they'll throw you aside and you can be Captain Britain. And that really disgusts him that they would do that because she's a mutant. So he's upset about that.
Right.
And so then basically she's like, listen, you're not in a bad place. I know you think you are, but you're not. And so they end up trading. He's like, you should have the amulet because that's who you are. And he's like, and swords are always kind of your thing anyway. And
So she gets the sword.
So she takes the sword. And so they're both kind of Captain Britain. And then we check in with Apocalypse, who is now, like, has a lab set up in Otherworld. Because now he can just go there and do his things out of, like, the watchful eye of others. And he's, like, doing magical experiments there. And, like, Jamie comes down to say hi and be like, whatever. And, like, Apocalypse is like, dude, we're not friends. We're not friends. I didn't invite you down here.
You were a means to an end.
Yeah, you were a means to an end. And don't disturb me when I'm working. And he's like, sorry. And what we see that he's working on is Morgan Le Fay, who he's like...
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
It's like put tubes in her?
Yeah, she's not dead. He's studying her.
Right. Because she's like magic and stuff?
Yeah. And so, like, we have, like, throughout this, we've got
Yikes.
pages of his grimoire. And so, like, in this, he mentions Monarch, he mentions Exodus, and he mentions Krakoa. He's looking for something. Earlier on, he talks a lot about how, like 3 isn't enough for a coven. You need 4. 4 is an important number to Apocalypse, of course. There's
Right.
4 horsemen. And the fact is, we know that Apocalypse would do anything to get his original back. So why are we talking about this right now? Why does this matter? Because after this, we do a couple of issues where we need to gain access to the Starlight Citadel.
What?
The Star... I can't even say that straight away. The Starlight Citadel is a place in Otherworld that is the hub, the multiversal hub for the Captain Britain Corps.
The Captain Britain Corps?
The Captain Britain Corps is a group of Captain Britons from every multiverse. And so they all come there.
Like the Thor Corps.
Like the Thor Corps, like the Green Lantern Corps, except
Right.
literally like
Wow.
from this universe, it's this Captain Britain. From that universe, whatever. And that's where they go, and they'd have meetings. They were
They hang
destroyed. They were destroyed, I believe, in the incursions.
Okay.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Yeah.
And so they're no more. So the Starlight Citadel is still there. But why is it there? And that's a question. Why does the Starlight Citadel still exist then? And who's in charge of it? Merlin used to be in charge of it. And then his daughter was in charge of it. So who's in charge of it?
Okay.
I guess it would be Captain Britain.
No, it's Opal Luna Saturnine.
Who's that?
The Omniversal Magistrix, which we will find out because they go on this quest to find these werewolf skulls, and when they get them, they're able
what?
to... Werewolf? Warwolf?
Oh, not werewolf?
Not werewolves or werewolves.
Werewolves?
Or werewolves.
Werewolf.
Or their wolves. Warwolf skulls. And they use those,
Okay.
and they use those because technically Captain Britain should be able to access the Starlight Citadel, and when Betsy's there, she can't. And so Apocalypse
I
is
go
like,
to that Citadel?
Apocalypse is like, go get the skulls. I'll help you get to it.
Because she gave up the amulet and she has the sword now.
No, it's hidden away because when the White Witch, who was
yeah.
Saturnine,
Oh.
was waging war, and Morgan took up like the Camelot
Madame of
Castle.
Frost?
No.
No.
She looks. She hides the Citadel from everyone, and so the werewolf skills let them do a ritual that reveals it. She is not happy about a lot of things, and she ends up waging war on Jubilee and the rest of Excalibur, and all of them, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on there.
So the White Witch was waging war on
with
on Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah.
On werewolves.
And like it was kind
With
of going.
werewolves.
Yeah, no, there were no werewolves there. Those don't matter. There was literally issues 7 and 8. And it was really stupid. It doesn't matter, but it got us issues 9 and 10. Really, the Magistrix should be with Captain Britain, but she's not, and nobody knows why. Saturnine's important. She has had ties with Captain Britain before. Saturnine's is from Earth 9, so she's not even from around here. From 616 at least.
Okay.
There is a 616 version of her named Courtney Ross, who was the girlfriend or like flame of Captain Britain, Brian, before Meghan.
Okay.
And she exists. She's just a person. She's a banker. But like, there she is. So don't confuse her.
Right.
Then there's Saturn 9, like number 9, who is the evil version of Saturnine. From like Earth
Like satire?
749 or something.
Okay. I assume this is all like deep Captain Britain lore.
Sure.
Or weird numerology crap.
Right. Theoretically, in the incursions, Saturnine, the Opal Luna Saturnine, Merlin and Roma, well, Merlin I think was already dead, but they died. So now she's back. She's just back.
Right.
Okay.
Like, I'm here.
I'm here, and we're not going to talk about that.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Why is this important, though?
Good question.
Because this came out.
Okay.
This is the Free Comic Book Day issue.
Learn this shit!
To Ten of Swords.
Okay. So what happens in this?
So in the beginning of this, we see this like crazy crap happening. And then we see Saturnine. She gets this cool like eye monocle thing. And then, which she can weirdly, it looks like she can see like magical and like demon things. But she talks about the lands that were split by conflict, which in theory, I'm guessing she's talking about Krakoa and Arrakala.
Okay.
Right? And then she pulls out her tarot cards and she does a reading, which is going to lay the groundwork for where this all goes.
Oh.
So she pulls the Judgment card. I'm going to pull up my notes. The theory is our life comes to an absolute end, making way for a dynamic new beginning. We see this dude who's from, I believe, Arrakala. It's the other side that, remember, Apocalypse split the lands in twain?
Yes.
And like that was the bad side where he sent his guys. That guy's from there. The Four of Wands, which signifies happy families and events, coming home in a reunion.
That doesn't look like that.
Those are clearly his horsemen.
Oh. Okay.
The Hanged Man, which shows ultimate sacrifice or surrender. It can signify a situation that you're not happy with, and it can also be used for, like, the Hanged Man, if you think about it, it's upside down. You view your world in a different perspective, but you also can sacrifice for the greater good.
The greater good.
Thank you.
The greater good.
The Eight of Cups, which is disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, avoidance. And then the Ten of Swords, which, if placed, which is hard to see because it actually looks like it's upright. And I believe when it's upright, it's the Ten of Swords is painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, and crisis. It can be an omen of backstabbing. It can represent failure, hitting rock bottom, and someone pretending to be a martyr. So all of that, like, the only reason we covered Excalibur is because it's like, what's Apocalypse been up to this whole time?
Right.
Bringing this shit about.
This, and studying magic, and looking to put a reality warping mutant in charge of this place, where this chick is doing a tarot reading of the future. This is written by Hickman, and with help by Teenie Howard, who helped him with the tarot cards.
Okay.
Don't forget at the beginning of this whole thing, there were cards we saw, remember?
Yeah.
It was the Tower, the Devil, and the Magician, which are also tarot cards.
Right.
The Magician is a manifestation of resourcefulness and power, inspiration, new beginnings. The Tower is sudden change and upheaval. The Tower is a solid structure that's built on a shaky foundation. It represents ambitious goals made on false promises.
Ooh, Richter.
Or there is a tower, or it's like Krakoa itself. And the Devil, which represents being seduced by the material world or living in fear of domination. There's also a reference to addiction, which is funny because of the drugs that Krakoa is making. So like the tarot will play like a role in this in terms of like, if you want to know, you could know. But like, I feel like we kind of need to know what Apocalypse is up to, because Hickman has said that Ten of Swords is going to touch on a lot of the like other books that are going on, like New Mutants and Marauders, Hellions. Issue 12 of Excalibur, I believe, is going to be part of the prelude to Ten of Swords. So if you're like in on this and you haven't been picking up Excalibur, hopefully we helped you guys out and led you on the way to figuring out what Apocalypse is doing. There's a lot more. There's a lot of subtext to what he's doing. He talks at one point about like the idea of as above, so below, and that like if you're a magic user, that's what it is. And like magic users, like they're always like taking their power for someplace else, but like mutants just have power, and like that's the magic he's looking for, is not that which steals from others. And so then he calls it like so below as above. There's like parallels there, and if you take those lines and you turn them at a 90-degree angle, it like creates essentially like an X. And you only need 4 to make that, as opposed to needing a coven. And I'm like, are you talking about your horseman, man? Are we talking about the horseman? What are we talking about here?
Right, I would assume.
So like,
what is going on?
What is going on? Do you absolutely have to read this? I don't know. But if you're looking for an Apocalypse story, this might be for you.
Yeah, he's
because,
there.
like,
He's there.
he's
He's very
on it.
important.
He's the one that's behind all of this.
But you're thinking to yourself, it's Excalibur. I don't care about Excalibur. I didn't read it. I don't know anything
all
about
this British crap I don't know anything about.
Legit for me, I was like, oh, it's magic. I'm in. And then I was like,
Right.
oh, okay. What we all thought Apocalypse might be doing, Apocalypse is doing. He's doing something.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Mr. Sinister isn't doing something, and you've got so many other villains there. It doesn't mean that Charles isn't doing something as
Right,
well.
he's got
But
his own-
Apocalypse has his own thing happening right now.
And
Right.
Jamie's a part of it.
And Jamie is seemingly a pawn of to some degree.
He doesn't seem to like be involved like actively. He's more like
Right.
a piece that's being used.
But I could imagine too. I mean, at least they explain that like who this character is. I think they call her. Yeah, they call her Opaluna Saturnine, because when you see her, it looks like a Dungeons and Dragons version of
Yeah.
Emma Frost.
Yes, that's exactly what she looks like.
Like, here I am, ta-da!
And what does she do? She's pulling out cards and just looking at them.
Yeah,
talking about
Well,
him?
she's doing a reading.
For who?
The future.
The future?
Yeah, she's like, what's gonna
No,
happen?
I mean, like, who is asking her to do that reading?
It's
Or-
for herself. She wants to know what's going to come.
Okay.
She's like trying to put herself in a position where she knows what's coming.
Her cards are in the box. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. There is Excalibur. All 5 of you who watched this episode. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that was a lot of stuff.
That was in depth.
happening there. Oof.
I like the fact that on the 10 of Swords, Wolverine's holding a sword, even though he's got 6 little swords.
Yeah, well, you gotta have like a big sword.
Yeah.
You can't just have that sword.
So one of the 10 of Swords is Wolverine. Mm-hmm. He was something else. No, I'm thinking of a person who was.
He was a horseman at one point.
He was a horseman, yeah.
Yeah. But we do see that Captain Britain is here.
Yeah, she's on there too.
She's there.
Who's this?
That's Magic.
Ah,
There's Cable. And then it's like trying to figure out who's back here. That
Right.
could be Storm.
could be.
I don't know.
Probably not supposed to be able to tell for sure.
No, I'm sure we're not.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what comes. I know for a lot of people, they've kind of like, the excitement for X-Men has kind of waned. This type of magical crap is right up my alley.
Right, right.
So I am like all in.
I like the way
Right.
you described that.
And you know what though? It is. Like that is so, there's so much that happens there, and there's like,
to be like, you like this magic stuff,
I do
right?
like this magic stuff, but like there are things that happen in this book, admittedly, that it's like you need to take a leap of logic to get to it.
Yeah, like everything Apocalypse said, being like, I need these things to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously I'm summarizing what goes on here, but like
yeah.
there are just certain plot points that it's like, and then this happens, and then later on you're like, oh, I guess it happened because of this.
Yeah, shut up, just take it.
Yeah, there are moments like that, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Obviously, like, I get the feeling that, like, this is Teenie Howard's story, but I have a feeling that this might be one of those where it was like, Hickman was like, I need Apocalypse to do this, 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 and this.
Right.
And she's
This
like,
is
all right, I can write a
his
story that does
role.
that.
We got that. We can get
The
there.
whole thing. Yeah.
So,
I'll put it in Excalibur.
Excalibur.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
It works. It works. If they need magic, I don't know. We will put a link in the description down below where you can get this. All of the books that are associated with the Dawn of X right now have this treatment to them. They're different colors, though, but it has this look to it. I don't think this is going to be one of those, like, you know, forever aged well kind of covers, but I dig it. It has like a scientific look.
Yeah.
It's kind of like rolled that into some of his things, so it's kind of cool. Now, we'll just end the episode with like scenes from Excalibur, the movie behind us.
We can't do that. We don't own that.
Yeah, Merlin will be breathing fire.
And
And,
dragon's breath.
and we can have like, weird golden, whatever his name is.
Mordred, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget there's a link in the description down below to pick up this book. And that's it.
And that's it. Just this one.
Just this book.
But you
Cool.
can
pick
keep
it up.
reading
It
the
was
rest.
fun.
It was something.
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
It looks
It
great.
looks really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
Marcus Toe does a good job. I didn't even think I said who did this book before.
No. It was Marcus Toe.
It was Marcus Toe and Teeny Howard.
You're welcome, Marcus.
Marcus
And Teeny.
and Teeny. Bye.
Bye, guys.